So what is a collection? What is this basic idea of using a collection? What do we mean when we're talking about this? Well, a collection is nothing more really than a group of different objects. And in Java, we use collections to basically make a lot of things simpler, a lot of algorithms, and a lot of common things that we would do that would require us to write a lot of code using arrays and different data structures in order to solve those algorithms. A lot of what maybe if you've done a computer science course, a lot of the data structures are basically captured in collections. Collections are just a way of making it so that you don't have to try to implement all those things yourself. So collections really make your job a lot easier, and all collections are some kind of a group. And basically collections are broken up into a few different kinds of groupings, and those groupings are usually grouped around attributes like uniqueness, the order of the items in that group, some kind of process, so some kind of rules that govern how you can remove and add items from a group, or that you can search or find them, and then some kind of mapping. You can use certain groupings or certain collections to map different items together. And these kind of ideas really encompass all of what are collections in Java. So really, collections are just some way to group things together according to some attributes that are unique to that group. So let's look at how collections are implemented in Java specifically. So in Java, we use an interface basically to create this collection hierarchy. And I've got a demonstration here of the hierarchy of collections in Java. You can see here that we have basically most of the collections implementing an interface called collection. And collection basically uses generics in order to work on any kind of a type. So before we had talked about how you could use generics, and collections are a great example of generics. They're based off of generics. So off of collection, we have some other interfaces, a set, a list, a queue, and there's a sorted set, which we're not going to cover here, but these are the basic ideas, is that all of these are more specific types of collection. And collection has some basic functionality of being able to add things and remove things from the collection, whereas these other interfaces impose some more restrictions and create more ways for you to manipulate that collection. Then all the way over to the right side, you can see here that there's a map. And map is basically a collection of its own. It's kind of unique from the other collections. It shares some of the attributes. Maps have keys, and they can be sorted or they can be traversed through, but they generally do something different than the rest of the collections because they actually map data together. But the basic structure in Java is that all of these are interfaces that you're looking at here. And you have different concrete implementations or different classes that implement these interfaces in order to create these collections. And these collection interfaces basically just define the way that you can interact with them. So, for example, in Java, when you want to create a list, we program against the interface list, and then you provide some kind of a specific implementation, and that could change. So in Java, a lot of times if I'm declaring a list variable, I'll declare it of type list, but then when I actually create the object, it'll be of array list or whatever the specific implementation of the list is. And this will make a little bit more sense as we get into some examples in the code in a little bit here.